Welcome to the second episode of Focus on Framingham. Got a number of stories to go through tonight, so we'll start with a little April Fool's joke that was played on the town by the Framingham DPW, and this is courtesy Framingham Source, who provided a photo of that. That was what people saw as they drove through various parts of town, showing that they are going to be doing a town-wide brush pickup, even though we're a city now. So speaking of that, this is all from a storm that hit us back in March, about 3 weeks ago. And right now, the plan is a budget of about $300,000 to pay for the collection. This is from Framingham Source. About 3 weeks after a nor'easter knocked out power to almost 1/3 of Framingham and left neighborhoods littered with trees and branches, Framingham Mayor Yvonne Spicer is proposing a citywide special brush collection. It goes on to say, her supplemental appropriations request will be heard by the Framingham City Council Finance Subcommittee on Wednesday night. And this is as of April 2nd, so I believe that's this week. That would be, I think, the 3rd or the 4th. It will go before the full 11-member Framingham City Council for a vote to approve next Tuesday, April 3rd. Submitted after the City Council meeting on March 20th. So the city appropriation votes require 2 readings by the Framingham City Council. So the first vote will be on April 3rd and the second will be on April 17th. But I believe the pickup is around that time. So the story goes on. This is from FraminghamSource.com. City councilors said that the supplemental budget request is about $300,000 for the special brush curbside collection. Currently, and the reason why I guess this is expensive is that the Dudley Road yard waste drop-off area is fully occupied with storm debris collected immediately after the events, says the Department of Public Works Director Peter Sellers in a March 19th memo to the mayor and the CFO of the city. And this is quoting Sellers. The debris has posted a threat to public safety either due to its location on the road, on electrical wires, or public parks, schools, properties, or on sidewalks. The debris, estimated at about 20,000 cubic yards, is in the process of being processed and removed at a cost of about $58,000 before any additional material can be taken in and processed at the facility. So I myself have branches on my front lawn from trees that came down during the storm, and I see them all over the neighborhood. So I'm actually pretty glad that that they're doing this, and the price tag seems pretty steep, but you have to imagine that this is probably a lot of crews. They're going to be out there. I think it's probably, they were talking about, this is later on, according to Sellers, they'll be working 10 to 12 hour days, 6 days a week for approximately 4 weeks. And that's probably including like police detail sometimes, wood chippers, all that stuff that's got to run. It takes multiple people. So it's kind of a big undertaking, and I'm actually surprised that they didn't just try to outsource it to somebody, but this is probably the cheapest way to go. This actually happened a few years ago. This wasn't the first time. I think I have a screenshot of that here. No, I don't. According to, this is from the Framingham Online News, Framingham.com, and this is from November 4th, 2011. Do you remember that storm that hit in 2011 on October 29th, right before Halloween? And I think it ended up postponing Halloween. I don't know if we did it in Framingham, but I know other areas did. But they did a special curbside collection of yard waste on November 14th of that year. This article from Framingham Online News doesn't say how much that cost. Let's see if we can see a little bit more here. But they were talking about, kind of a similar situation here. And it was a pretty big undertaking. I think that they did it where it was on your regular trash day. I'm not sure what the schedule will be this year. So that's that story. Moving on to our next story. I'll pull that up right here. There's a robbery suspect that was at large, has now been captured. But originally there was a robbery at 696 Cotuchuit Road, which is a gas station. The handgun was shown at the robbery. It was reported around 9:16 p.m. I believe that was on March 31st. Suspect was described as a male wearing a gray hoodie and blue hospital pants, which is kind of odd. So he was last seen headed towards the Cumberland Farms on Route 30. They brought in a K-9 unit and the Massachusetts State Police Air Wing. This is according to Framingham source. But it was updated saying that that as of 11:25 Sunday, the suspect had not been caught by police. But I believe that I saw that the suspect was later caught. And I'll have to update you a little later on in the show. I'll find out if the suspect was actually caught or not. Next story is about an article from a website called livability.com. Apparently they compile the 100 best places to live in the United States. And for 2018, Framingham came in at, let's see, I can pull that up here. You can't really see the numbers there, but Framingham came in with a live score of 609. I guess that puts it at number 86 on the top 100 places to live. It gave some sort of ranking where it said civic 69, demographic 64, economy 57, education 65, health 71, housing 58, and infrastructure 48. They do have a little bit on the page. If you just Google the livability.com Framingham, I'm sure you'll find the page for it. This article says, founded and incorporated in 1700, the historic city of Framingham often lands on our best places to live list. Part of the Boston metro area, the town ranks high in education thanks to the Framingham Public School District and 3 college campuses, including Framingham State. Top-notch healthcare sector is highlighted by Metro West Medical Center. Framingham has all the charm you'd expect from a historic and tight-knit community with affordable housing options mixed in with more expensive homes. The city's many parks, botanical gardens, galleries, and museums offer residents recreational activities and art to enjoy. So I thought that was kind of nice that we ended up on the top 100 list there. Let's see if I can pull up the index here. Number 1 on the list was Ann Arbor, Michigan. 2 was Manhattan, Kansas, which I'd never heard of. Corvallis, Oregon is number 3. Number 4, Iowa City. And Charlottesville, Virginia at number 5. And let's see if we can pull up the last at the bottom of the list here. Oak Park, Illinois. I've been there. That came in at number 100 on the list. Redmond, Washington coming in just at 99. They're the home to Microsoft. I'm surprised it's not higher on the list. Let's see. So if you have any questions or comments or any articles that you'd like to see on the show, just give me, can reach us at our email address right there, mike@focusonframingham.tv, or you can visit our website, which actually redirects to our YouTube channel, where you can find all the past episodes and this episode of all of our shows. I've been doing public access for just about 20 years. I started in 1999 in Plymouth, Mass., doing a show it was originally called Plymouth After Dark. It was a two-person talk show with myself and with my friend Jason Caminiti. It was a similar format to this, where you had me in the control room, kind of like this, but with him out in the studio behind the blue screen, so that we can put in all sorts of crazy stuff behind him. And we did about 185 episodes, I believe, up until around 2006. I moved to Framingham in 2003. We renamed the show Mass After Dark. It was on for quite some time. I aired it in both Plymouth and later on in Framingham. But I started to think that the one thing that Framingham could really use is a show that goes over some of these stories, just kind of one after another, kind of like Last Week Tonight, but with not nearly as funny. So that's my plan with this show, and I don't really intend to talk a lot about my own opinions. I try to just stick to what the stories are, but I'm sure I'll have some opinions in there sooner or later. And like I said, if you have any comments, if you want me to read something on the air, just give me an email, and I'll let you know what we can do. Let's see. Our next story is about Marion High School closing. This just happened today. This is April 3rd. This is another story from Framingham source. Let's see if I can pull it up here. It's the logo there for Marion High School, established in 1956. It was a religious private school, and I'll read from the FraminghamSource.com article here. Framingham, established in 1956, Marion High School will close at the end of the school year. That's 2018. The private Roman Catholic high school is located in Framingham and Union Ave. The grades 9 through 12 high school have been run independently of the diocese since 2004. Some of the famous graduates include Krista McAuliffe and former NFL player Peter Conran. The Board of Trustees voted unanimously that Marion High School will complete its mission and cease operations at the end of the current academic year, June 2018, wrote the chair of the trustees and its president, John Emilio. Since 2004, the board and the administration at Marion have sought to meet the challenges confronting the school in the areas of enrollment and balanced budgets while maintaining an enriching and sustainable academic environment. So this just basically goes on to say, despite the efforts, enrollment at Marion High School has decreased in the past few years from 304 students in 2012 to 221 this academic year. The incoming freshman class for the 2018-19 just stands at 16 students, so that's not looking good if you're going to sustain a private school. The projected enrollment was 185 students. This is Emilio going on to say that enrollment has declined, the demand for financial aid has increased significantly. These challenges have placed enormous strain on our ability to control costs without making dramatic cuts in personnel, increasing tuition beyond the means of most of our families. We have reached the unfortunate point where the continued operation of Marion is no longer sustainable. Now, an update to that is that there's a GoFundMe now. a GoFundMe campaign running. I think it's got a goal of $5 million to try to keep the school open. So if you're interested in donating, you can just Google that and go ahead and donate to them. So that wraps up the this first segment of stories that I have. Again, like I said, you can reach me here at Mike at focusonframingham.tv, and our website, which redirects to our YouTube channel, is focusonframingham.tv here. And I'll come back in a few minutes with some more stories, and we'll take a quick break here. And we're back. That was the yodeling of 10-year-old Mason Ramsey from Illinois. And I'm reading this article here from Yahoo News. A video of a 10-year-old boy's performance in the middle of Walmart has gone viral for his bizarre talent. I don't know if it's that bizarre, but... Mason Ramsey, who was from Illinois, was shopping in the megastore, Walmart, when he broke out into song and began to yodel. And you just saw that here. The 10-year-old was dressed in a pair of black cowboy boots, jeans, and a white shirt and a red bow tie. A video of Mason's performance was posted to Twitter by user Dumbass Vegan, and it's already been viewed more than 16 million times. Mason, who sings his heart out in the clip, has since become an internet sensation, with people branding him the yodeling Walmart boy. That kid is actually pretty good at yodeling, though. We can't overlook that, one person commented. My sister hasn't stopped singing that song since it went viral, another person said. Others couldn't help but turn the video of the boy singing into a meme, with the footage going viral online. So, that's a little bit of our nationwide story. And the next one, I've got another story here from other parts of the world here. Call this Last Train to Pooville. This is a CNN article from a couple days ago. And you're looking at a picture of 252 tractor-trailer loads of poop stockpiled in her town. So dozens of train cars carrying 10 million pounds of poop were stranded in a rural Alabama rail yard. Technically it's bio-waste, but the 982 residents in the small town of Parrish, that's just semantics. They want it gone. The load has been there for almost 2 months, and it's making the whole place smell like rotting animal carcass. To add insult to injury, it isn't even their poop. For the last year, waste management facilities in New York and New Jersey have been shipping tons of bio-waste, literally tons, to Big Sky Environmental, a private landfill in Adamsville, Alabama. But in January, the neighboring town of West Jefferson filed an injunction against Big Sky to keep the sludge from being stored in a nearby rail yard. It was successful, but as a result, the poo already in transit got moved to Parish, where there are no zoning laws to prevent the waste from being stored. Parish Mayor Heather Hall says that they're doing everything in her power to get the feculent free out of her town. It's so frustrating, Hall said. Last week, Hall met with Alabama Governor Kay Ivey, and she and other Montgomery lawmakers told Hall that they would help get it sorted out. They're trying to work behind the scenes to get us a little bit of help, but we've been told that for weeks. That was my cameraman moving the camera there. They've been told that there's no solution. Hall said that the stench permeates everything. The rail yard is across from a baseball field and next to a softball field. Parish only measures about 2 square miles and pretty much everything within smelling distance. It greatly reduces the quality of life, Hall said. You can't sit out on your porch. Kids can't go outside and play, and God help us if it gets hot and that material is still out there. On Tuesday, when Hall spoke to CNN, the temperature in Parish reached 81 degrees. You can't open the door because that stuff gets in your house. It's really rough, Parish resident Robert Hall told CNN affiliate WVTM. Other residents said that the waste smelled like dead bodies. This goes on to say it's not a public health issue. The Environmental Protection Agency and the Alabama Department of Environmental Management have both told Hall the material isn't dangerous because it's supposed to be grade A biowaste, not raw sewage, which is also the reason for the unique smell. She's willing to take them at their word, but she doesn't mean that she and other parish residents aren't concerned. Other than it's smelling absolutely terrible, I have to trust them that it's not going to hurt you, she said. But if you have asthma or COPD or breathing problems, what is that going to do to you? So, anyways, I thought that was an interesting story. Moving on, I've got a story here that it came out last year. It's my son getting into the shot there. Let's see. I have a graphic for it all set here. Space for Rent. And up in Saxonville, there's a shopping plaza called the Pinefield Shopping Center. It's on Nicholas Road, pretty much where Nicholas and Water intersect. And apparently there's been some planning to do something with that plaza. His story is from the Metro West Daily News from, I believe, January of 2017. But it goes like this. Will Dunkin' Donuts be the saving grace for a tired strip mall in Saxonville? A new Dunkin' Donuts location with a drive-through window is the centerpiece of development plans for Pinefield Shopping Center, a large commercial property at the corner of Nicholas Road and Water Street. With the building struggling to maintain tenants, owner Richard Aronvitz recently filed plans with the town to construct a new 5,000 square foot building inside the existing parking lot. The structure would house a Dunkin' Donuts franchise and 2 retail spaces, together totaling approximately 3,000 square feet. This would really inject some life into the center, lawyer Paul Gavani told members of the planning board last month, and this was last year, explaining that the plaza has been sustained by local businesses since losing its anchor tenant many years ago. I think there was a supermarket in there. Aronovitz, former drugstore owner, was himself a tenant in the building before he purchased it in 1995. 2 decades later, the 6.5-acre property is perhaps best known for its expansive parking lot, which is often largely empty, with the exception of a portion used by a seasonal petting zoo. They also have a couple of carnivals that usually come there throughout the year. I think one by the Rotary Club, and then there's another one in just a few weeks, I believe. Plans developed by Bower Engineering of Southborough show the new building occupying a portion of the parking lot that straddles the corner of Nicholas Road and Water Street. The facility would offer parking on all sides and would allow 12 vehicles to queue up in the drive-through lane. So basically, I'm not sure what happened to this. I tried to find out if any progress was made on this. I believe it went before the zoning board or planning board, whatever would have to okay it. But last time I was up there, I didn't see any difference. There wasn't any sign of any construction going on. Probably its 2 biggest draws, well, there's a post office there, there's Liberty's Pizza, and the former Ace Hardware. It's now the Robinson's Hardware store, which is the big store in the middle. I would love to see something done with the space. There's certainly plenty of parking lot to work with there. I don't know if Framingham needs yet another Dunkin' Donuts, but they're everywhere. What's one more, I guess? So that's that segment on space for rent, and I plan on in future shows having more articles about especially Knobscot and Mount Waite and all these other plazas that are kind of doing different things. So see, one last story for the evening here. This is another space story here. The Salvation Army building has been sold. This is according to Framingham's source. The Salvation Army has found temporary space on 59 Howard Street, but has to close its Miracle Kitchen. The 31,000 square foot building with on-site parking has been home to the Salvation Army since 1980. The building is in need of repairs. It's built in 1951. Building is assessed with the city of Framingham for $2.25 million. The land is valued at $204,000. Basically, I'm trying to see. Oh, the VTT management has purchased the Salvation Army building in downtown Framingham, and it was sold for $1.1 million. So, hopefully, we'll see something coming soon to that. As we get more information on that, I'll report it here. And that kind of wraps it up here for Focus on Framingham. Other way, my cameraman. I've been your host, Mike Cunningham, and we're going to go now to roll some credits here. Just give me a second.